What's up, YouTube? You're watching Rokaido96, and get ready for the
Top 10 of the week.
In this video, I will be giving you my top 10 spin-off series for Pokemon. Alright, number 10, we got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. One of the first few games to come out on the Nintendo DS for the Pokemon titles, that is. It's actually rather interesting because it came out in two parts, Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team. And what makes it interesting is Red Rescue Team was actually on the Game Boy Advance, as for Blue Rescue Team came out on the Nintendo DS. In this game, you are playing the role as a Pokemon who used to be a human and now fights with his partner in these things called mystery dungeons. You go through different floors and you get more people to go on your team, and it's all pretty cool. It's similar to the actual main series itself, but it's got a little twist to it. Alright, for number 9, we got Pokemon Ranger. Really cool game. In this game, you act as the role of a park ranger that uses the Pokemon not for battling, but for preserving the park in which you work at, essentially. You use Pokemon to knock down things, make bridges, and you use water Pokemon to put out forest fires. It's actually kind of cool. It's a new outlook towards the game because you're using them for things that really don't abuse them in some eyes, I guess. It's actually rather interesting, which is why I like the game. Alright, for number 8, we got Pokemon Rumble Blast, my favorite of the Pokemon Rumble series. That is, until the new one comes out, which I haven't really tried yet because I haven't got my hands on a Wii U. But in this game, you play the role as a Pokemon toy that battles in tournaments simply with the moves it has. You basically attack with, like tackles and stuff like that, but you can also use moves like Thunderbolt and all that. You travel through like little tiny dungeons, and you hop onto a spring that takes you to the next floor, and you battle bosses that are much, much larger than yourself. It's an all-around fun game. It's nothing too dynamic, but it's pretty fun. I like the series, and they're going places with this series. Alright, for number 7, we got Pokemon Snap. This game came out on the N64. In this game, you play the role as a photographer who goes around in this weird floating car on these tracks and basically take really cool pictures of Pokemon from the first generation. You get points evaluated by Professor Oak by the quality of the pictures, which is kind of cool if you're into both Pokemon photography. Not much you can do with this game, but if you're really interested, you can get out in the Virtual Console, or you can just try to find it for the N64. I played it a lot as a kid, and it's still one of my favorite N64 games, but there are also tons more titles of Pokemon games that came out on the N64 that I do prefer a lot more. Number 6, we got Pokemon Stadium, an awesome N64 title. In this game, you can battle your friends using rental Pokemon or red, blue, and yellow Pokemon. You could play video games with your friends, which is awesome. You could enter the gyms and defeat all the gym leaders and all the Elite Four members. You could look at 3D Pokédex, and you can also play your red, blue, or yellow title on your Pokemon Stadium. All around, it's an awesome game. It's pretty much one of my favorite games on the N64. Love to battle with my friends. It's just totally great. It's a great game. At number 5, we have the Pokemon Trading Card game. In this game, you play the role as a character who tries to collect all the legendary Pokemon cards, and this game is really cool because it actually taught me how to play the Pokemon card game, which wasn't very common back when I was young because the kids just collected them because they look cool. At number 4, we got Pokemon Colosseum. This awesome GameCube game featured you as a former Team Snag'em member. Team Snag'em and the Cyphers work together to create Shadow Pokemon, which are really, really tough. In this game, you fight Team Snag'em and the Cyphers and capture all the Shadow Pokemon and turn them back to good. The Shadow Pokemon close up their hearts entirely, and you have to open them up using the power of Celebi to bring them back to actual Pokemon instead of mean, crazy destroyers of everything. At number 3, we've got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. It's the third part of the Time and Darkness series. In this game, you also play the role as a Pokemon that searches around mystery dungeons in order to solve mysteries and have a great time with your partner. You awaken as a Pokemon, and you get these strange feelings, and you think you can tell time, basically. But really, you experience this time already. You battle with your friend, which you get to pick depending on your personality test, and you fight with the guild. The guild is run by Chatot and Wigglytuff, and you guys basically help out people with crimes and mysteries and all that stuff. You can take Pokemon adventures, you can save them from certain dungeons. It's all really cool. The storyline's great because it's this happy-go-lucky guild with a happy-go-lucky town, and they're trumped by villains such as Dusknoir and the presumably evil Grovyle at the time, and you basically save time and space itself by traveling through it, and all around it's a pretty cool game. This is probably my favorite Mystery Dungeon game right now, even though they're in the making of the newest one, which is coming out on 3DS. They already came out with a demo, which I'm really liking, and I'm actually excited to see the new one, and until then, this is my favorite of the Mystery Dungeon series. At number 2, we got Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Essentially, it's sort of the sequel of the Pokemon Coliseum. Similar storyline, except you play the role as a different character. You still have to capture all the Shadow Pokemon, and you still have to basically befriend them and open up their heart again. I like this game better because, well, the story mode was a lot cooler, and the Pokemon that were available throughout the game were also a lot cooler in my opinion. What's cool about this game is it actually came out with a limited edition GameCube with a Shadow Lugia on the cover, which I actually own. This is my first GameCube, which is basically why I sentimentally value this more than any of the other GameCube Pokemon series. And honestly, it's an all-around awesome game. It's really similar to the main series, except with Shadow Pokemon. But overall, it's an awesome game, and I love to play it.
Number 1.
Number 1, we've got Pokemon Stadium 2. Pokemon Stadium 2 was the sequel of Pokemon Stadium 1. It takes place in the second generation, which is actually my favorite. One of the main reasons why I put it above Pokemon Stadium 1, I just really enjoy the second generation. It's when I really started to grasp what Pokemon really was. And Pokemon Stadium 2 had a lot better graphics, better mini games, and Earl's Pokemon Academy really made me a better Pokemon battler. I learned things I never even knew about Pokemon. But all in all, it's a great game. It's my favorite N64 game. It even looks really sweet. So that's basically why it made my number 1 on the list. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, whatever the hell you want to do. Peace out.